What's up, everyone? Welcome to the long-awaited Pitch Pass podcast mock draft, the Tornado draft, as we're calling it, because there's a horrible storm hitting both of us right now. Um, First and foremost, thank you for tuning in. And on the day of us recording this, I just want to say happy Transgender Day of Visibility. We see you, we stand with you, and we love you. Just know that you're supported, and this podcast loves you.
Exactly. And we 100% support people of all walks of life, all genders. And it's honestly just a simple concept of just let people be. Let people try to exist, try to be happy in this chaotic world we live in.
Let people be who they are. Period.
Yeah. We don't need we don't need to govern everybody. Everyone doesn't need to be governed in every single way, man.
Especially
Like it's
not
just
about their identity. It's so stupid.
yeah.
Just let
Pe-
people be happy.
Yeah, if so, people are so afraid of like people turning into communist robots, well, let them do what they want.
Uh,
And also, it's just basic human rights, man.
yes, absolutely. Let
It's
people
just
be who they are. That is a human right. Yes.
yeah, and it just comes from a place of ignorance when it should just be a place of love because these are people that just want to feel comfortable in their own bodies.
And the people who are often the most critical of it are, well, you know, claim to be children of God. But if God
Yeah.
loves everyone, why don't you? Anyway.
Yeah. Anywho, um, like you said, this is our tornado mock draft. I am happy to be back home here on Pitch Pass Podcast. I did a live stream with a good buddy of mine, Classic Mike. Go follow him on Twitter. Go follow his YouTube channel at the Get Right Fantasy Network. It is absolutely fantastic. He's a great dude. I also did a fantasy blind date with Chuck Bass on his YouTube channel of fantasy football. This guy sucks. Just go check out my Twitter as well to get a link to that.
I think it's on the
Great.
podcast Twitter as well.
I think it is on the
Yeah.
podcast and Twitter as well. Great dudes, great guys. It was awesome for them to have me on.
Very fun to listen to.
Back home
Yes.
on our podcast here on Pitch Pass.
Been a long time coming for this one too. Had a lot of discussions in the meantime.
Yeah, I know. Oh, are you ready to make a mockery of this draft, my
I
friend?
am absolutely ready to get into this. So I will be drafting for the odd teams, and Brando will be drafting for the even teams. There were a couple things we discussed beforehand just to make things go a little bit smoother, a little bit easier, but we didn't discuss any actual picks. I think everybody knows who I'm going to go with. One, you ready to hop into this?
Yes, sir, I am.
Entering the draft. So if you want to do this to kind of get it out of the way right now, we can do the... Well, you know what? We'll wait until we get there. We'll start the draft right now. We're drafting for all teams. I'm ready to go. You ready?
Yep. And also, shout out to PFF.
Yes.
You're using their mock draft simulator. Go give it a try. Subscribe to their premium content for all the great data that they provide. And thank you to PFF for providing this amazing mock draft simulator that we are using for our mock draft today.
Yes. Well said. All right. Start the draft.
All right.
This should be no surprise if you know me at all, and if you know the Carolina Panthers and what they've been up to. With the first pick of the 2023, honestly, let's just call it a fantasy draft here. I'm going to take C.J. Stroud.
CJ Stroud, quarterback of Ohio State, has been comped to Jared Goff with a lot more athletic upside.
Yeah.
He is super accurate, can make every throw on the football field. Great timing, precision passer. Only knock on him is people kind of questioning what can he do when when things start to break down around him.
Yeah.
He showed in the game against Northwestern and Georgia that he has a little bit more athleticism than people give him
Yes.
credit for. He can use his
Definitely.
legs a little bit. Great pick. Carolina getting an amazing quarterback. Josh McCown absolutely loves him. Wants to play basketball with him already.
Who doesn't, to be honest with you?
I mean, dude. Also, you know what's really funny?
What's up?
In NFL circles, the McCown brothers are known for just being uber fucking athletic dudes. Super freaky. You know, back in the day,
Yeah.
when Josh McCown was coming out, he had like a 9.8 something RAS score.
Really?
for his
That's
time.
crazy.
Right now, he
Well,
wouldn't
I
have
know
the kind of
it's
best, but back
relative.
when he came out,
Yeah,
super athletic dude.
that's nuts. That's actually crazy. I did not know that. That's got to be one of the like highest of all time. That's crazy.
It was one of the highest at the
Yeah.
time, and it's just so crazy. The athletes that now come through the NFL are
Yeah,
just absolutely insane.
monsters. Well, our training regimens, our understanding of fitness and health, and also the recovery from injury is you have dudes that come back stronger. Praying for
Yeah,
Brees Hall. Yeah.
yeah, and another thing, man, it's so crazy thinking about all those massive dudes who are super fast and athletic, and then thinking about who I'm going to draft the Texans second overall. I'm taking Bryce Young, a little bit undersized quarterback out of
Yes.
Alabama, but can make every foot on the football field. Is fantastic when things have to break down. The only knock that people have on him this past year is that he holds on to the ball too long.
A little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
context fucking matters.
Yes.
His receivers this past year sucked.
Yes.
Okay, his
It was
best
bad.
receiver was his fucking running back.
Yeah. No, I
And
think this is probably the best quarterback pick of the class for right now for a team that wants to win.
mhm.
I for me, CJ Stroud is my QB1, but I think Bryce Young is the best complete quarterback in the class right now. I think that's probably the best pick for the Texans.
Yeah. All right. So this is where we get our first trade coming in now, Brett.
Yes, it is.
So the Carolina Panther, not Carolina, the Arizona Cardinals. We already did that one. The Arizona Cardinals are going to be getting a call from the Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell wants to bite some kneecaps, and he's ready to have one of the best running games in the NFL for the next decade with this quarterback. Give me Anthony Richardson here at the third overall pick for the Detroit Lions. Lions are trading up and giving up the sixth overall pick and pick number 55 to the Arizona Cardinals. Brett, do you accept this trade as well?
I do accept this trade.
Knowing
Yeah.
that I am also going to take Anthony
Yeah.
Richardson with
Yes.
this.
Yeah. I love that for the Lions. Somebody that can sit behind Goff. Goff had a fantastic year, but you kind of know what his ceiling is, and you need a quarterback of the future, really.
AR had a perfect RAS score, by the way, which is absolutely bonkers to think about.
Unheard of, yeah.
He is legit just a new Cam Newton. This generation's Cam Newton, but I actually think he's going to be a better passer than Cam was.
The Cam could have been a much better passer, but
He was all arm. Cam was
the
all
the
arm.
two
He
things
didn't
with Cam,
score.
he never set his feet properly and he never set his hips properly. He never the way that Cam played and passed specifically. You're absolutely right. He was an all arm thrower of the football, which he was fantastically gifted, but that doesn't make you fantastically accurate. And if you don't have a solid foundation for your throwing off base a lot, not everybody's Mahomes. You can't always make it work.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I agree with you. I think this is the right pick for Detroit. I think you really need to look for your future. Not saying that Goff isn't a starting quarterback or even a good starting quarterback. We've seen him take the Rams to the Super Bowl. We've seen him go throw for throw with Mahomes in that game in 2019.
Yeah, 2019, and he actually beat Mahomes in that game as well.
Yes, he did.
So it also gives a year for Anthony Richardson to correct his accurate issues, which he's not really that inaccurate. If you can just get his feet corrected, I think he's going to be absolutely fantastic. And we already know he can do in the run game.
Yes.
He's a 4'4" athlete. He's over 240 pounds. The fucker can do a backflip.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
he's a massive human being. He's jacked, and I'm just excited to watch him in the NFL because I
Same.
feel like even if Jared Goff starts to falter midway through the year,
Yeah,
maybe you even start him halfway through the year because he is such a good rushing threat.
yeah.
You
Maybe.
don't necessarily need him to be an amazing passer off the bat.
I would agree with that.
Gives him time to figure it out, just like Josh Allen had time to figure it out as a passer as well. I think the sky's the limit for him.
Yes.
I think the arm strength is absolutely amazing. I think he can make some amazing throws on the run. I'm just excited to watch him in the league now.
I'm right there with you.
So
now,
now we're
yeah, I know what
now
you're
we're to the
looking to do with this
Indianapolis
one.
Colts. So Indianapolis Colts. So I'm calling up Alicia Jones right now, Lamar's mom. I'm just letting her know, hey, I have a deal on the. I have a deal ready for Lamar. Just tell him just wait until Sunday. And the deal is gonna be right there on the table for him Monday. Just to sign it then, because then that allows us to still use our 4th overall pick on a blue chip player right now that can help us win and help us win going forward. Give me Will Anderson Jr. from Alabama, the best edge rusher in this class. He's going to be absolutely dominant on the Colts defensive line right next to DeForest Buckner.
Yeah, that's going to be super disruptive. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think that's probably the best that the Colts can do. You have that really high pick.
And I haven't given up in Bernard Ryman either, like at playing left tackle. I think he can still grow to be a solid tackle in the NFL. Offensive linemen just take time.
Absolutely.
And that was honestly the only other decision. It was between Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, or going and getting a tackle there.
Yeah.
Right, man. You got Seattle here at 5. So this is fun because you have Seattle at 5 and 20.
Yeah, I think for this specifically,
See, this is where it gets fun.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of different options on the table. There's not too many clear-cut needs for the Seahawks.
You know what? I really think I'm gonna take Jalen Carter here.
Ooh.
I think that's a really good option. The Seahawks were able to put up points a lot last year, but a lot of what they struggled with was stopping the bleeding, especially against the run, and Jalen Carter will really be able to help with that.
Jalen Carter is legitimately just Ndamukong Suh 2.0.
Yeah.
He's going to come in.
He's a little lighter, though, no?
I think he's actually heavier than Suh was. He's probably about the same size, honestly. Jalen Carter's about 320, 330. Absolute monster of a human being.
Yes, he is.
He'll play about 315. Okay. So still.
Fair enough.
All right, so Jalen Carter.
So now I get the Cardinals pick from.
Yep, right here at 6.
Yeah, so
there's a lot of places you can go here.
Yeah, the Cardinals really need a lot of help. This is kind of the interesting part of the draft where you could look to trade down some more and get some more assets because the Cardinals are hurt in so many areas, and I feel like the guys that they really want at the top, like the Jalen Carter and the Will Anderson, those guys are gone. You could take Tyree Wilson. Yeah, and I understand that, but
they already got pick 55 as well. I could definitely see him going Tyree Wilson.
It's not that I can't.
It's also what you would do, Brett.
Yeah, and I mean, when it comes to me, I think the thing that we don't know that affects this decision the most is Kyler's timeline. And they might not know either, but they probably have a better idea than we do. So
I'm just going with Kyler isn't going to be ready until the midway point in the year.
That's exactly what I'm assuming as well. I think if you can get still a premier player, like I don't think Tyree Wilson should leave the top 10. I think it's a good pick. It's not necessarily my first pick, but it's...
I know. You wanted Will Anderson the fall here.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'll take Tyree Wilson just because the Cardinals' defense, especially since losing J.J. Watt.
And losing Zach Allen, too.
Zach Allen, too, yeah.
Yeah, just literally who plays on this defense for the Cardinals outside of Isaiah Simmons? Yeah, Buda Baker and Isaiah Simmons. That's about it.
Yeah.
But adding Tyree Wilson is a great job. Long edge rusher. Reminds a lot of people of Jason Pierre-Paul and Iggy Ansah coming out.
Yeah.
Has a lot of potential.
Those are good comps, too. I agree.
Yeah,
I like
he's
that.
going to be absolutely fantastic.
Unfortunately, now I'm picking again at 7 for the Raiders.
I
Uh,
know.
I think the Raiders are kind of on a short term. Will Levis is a very mistake prone quarterback, especially when the center of the line collapses. Um, I think that Will Levis is a.
Are you going to tank the Raiders and take Will Levis?
Hear me out. I
You
think
have to do things that are still good for your division
I
rivals.
understand.
I traded up for AR.
I don't think that Will Levis is as bad as people are making him out to be.
Okay.
I think the right team could develop Will Levis into a Josh Allen caliber of player, but the wrong team.
Marcus Russell. He's just white Jamarcus Russell.
It's
That's
very
100% how I
possible.
feel about him.
I feel like the Raiders. The Raiders have really two options here.
Mhm.
They can kind of bank on their future and go for like a corner or something.
I mean, that would be going for the future and for right now too. I mean, they need help on the secondary.
But also, you understand Jimmy Garoppolo is not a long-term solution by any means. And if you want, Jimmy Garoppolo is good enough to win you probably 2 at best of your in-division games this year. And that's at best. So you're looking at probably a bottom 5 pick next year.
Mm-hmm.
And in that division, you could be the number 1 overall pick next year. But I feel like
I don't
Jimmy
think the
G.
Raiders are going to be bad enough
I don't
to have the
either.
number one
That's
overall
the
pick.
thing. I think Jimmy G, as a quarterback, as long as he's not injured, gives you a floor that's high enough with Devontae, with all of the other shit that they got. Some of those guys on defense, some. But I feel like here is kind of where you would make a decision on.
If you're going to go Will Levis or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um. It feels like a very Raiders thing to do to pick Will Levis here.
Does it sway you at all that he's already 23?
No,
Is about to turn 24 before the season starts?
not at all.
No.
It feels like the Raiders thing to do to pick Will Levis here. I'm going to take Will Levis.
All right.
It might not be the smartest or the best decision, but and you know what? He went to Kentucky, didn't he?
Yeah, he went to Kentucky.
You know what?
He went to Kentucky, didn't he? Yes, he went to Kentucky.
You know what? Go Wildcats, baby.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You live in Michigan. It's so many weird things. So many weird things.
It's fine. It's okay. It's family.
All right. I'm picking for the Atlanta Falcons here at number 8. I have so many choices here, and it's so fun to think about all the options I have. Quentin Johnston is still here. Jackson Smith and J-Boo is still here.
Yes, he is.
Devon Witherspoon is still here. Christian Gonzalez is here. Like, there is so many ways I can go with this pick, and I am going to go route. I'm going to go get Christian Gonzalez.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to go corner. I'm going to go get him to pair in that secondary with, oh my God, the name is escaping, with Terrell.
AJ Terrell, my man.
The name almost escaped me, but I just pulled it back out of my memory. I was like,
That's
Clemson.
okay.
Had to think of the national title runs. Have him the pair of AJ Terrell, 2 long corners that are fantastic in zone situations. It is going to be fun to watch. They're both also large corners, so it's going to be hard for some of those teams like Tampa Bay to use Mike Evans and their size against him.
Yeah, I definitely thought you were going to go Witherspoon, but honestly, I think that I
little
don't
higher
think you could have
Gonzalez
gone.
than Witherspoon.
That's totally fair.
My comp for Gonzalez is kind of like he's like a more controlled Marcus Peters.
Fair enough. It's not bad.
Okay. So you have the Chicago Bears here at 9.
Yeah, I think the Bears are really starting to embrace that Justin Fields is the quarterback of their future. They just got a shit ton of assets. What they need is to build their fucking line. So, at pick number 9,
Boo!
I will be
Boring.
taking Peter Skoronsky because he is elite.
And
And
I like Pierce, like you were saying, he's elite. What Peter Skoronsky can also do for the Chicago Bears
yeah,
is he can either be a tackle or a guard.
or guard. Absolutely. Exactly. And I think his versatility, there's no real big hole to his game. I really think that he can fill in one of two positions that you need him to. But he will be a foundational piece on that line to protect your quarterback.
And I honestly hope he plays guard because if he plays guard, I can see him being just as good as guys like Zach Martin and other tackles that kicked in the guard. Like I could see him being that kind of guy.
Very possible. Very.
But I could also see him being the starting right tackle or left tackle for the Chicago Bears.
And I think he would allow one sack all year. Maybe. Maybe.
I like the pick,
Okay,
Brett.
probably more than that.
Our first tackle is now off the board. I am now picking for the Philadelphia Eagles. There's so many directions I can go with this pick. And I'm going to do our first real, maybe not a curveball of the draft. If you saw his combine, it's not going to shock you at all. Nolan Smith from Georgia,
Oh.
athletic freak, profiles
Wow.
extremely well,
Okay.
can play all over the defense, can play as an outside linebacker or as a defensive end. Very strong, explosive edge player. He can eventually be the replacement or even an upgrade over what Hassan Reddick is currently doing
Yes,
for him.
definitely. No, I agree with you. I think that's a great pick. I do think it's a reach, but I don't think it's... I honestly, I was expecting you to go Brian Branch there.
Yeah, man. It was definitely. I'm also thinking, how does Philly keep it going? They build up. They build in the trenches. They have depth, and they have guys that keep rotating in and out.
Definitely.
This way allows them to just keep turning and burning on that defensive line.
Yeah,
And I think
I
a
love the
lot
pick.
of people are going to be. I think. I'm going to call it right now. Nolan Smith is not going to make it out of the top 10. He is going to be one of the first edge rushers off the board.
That's very fair. I could see that as well.
He's going to be that third edge rusher off the board right after Tyree Wilson.
If he's there at 14, somehow, I honestly, the Patriots might still take Lucas Van Ness. They honestly probably would. That is such a Patriots pick. They definitely will.
I mean, we're going to get there eventually. But now we're to the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, the Titans are... The Titans are a very aging roster that needs to make serious career decisions here. Because the Titans are a team that love their coach and have a fantastic coach, so they constantly overperform. But that doesn't mean that you're good. The guys on your roster may be good, but your roster as a whole is not good. I think their biggest need right now, they do need to start rebuilding the offensive line, but I think they really need another receiver because Derrick Henry is getting old, and you're going to have to start throwing the ball in a meaningful way, not just air yards. So
Derrick Henry might get traded before the year even starts. He might be a Buffalo Bill before everything's said and done.
God, what's the backup running back in Tennessee?
Like Hassan Haskin.
That's the one. Yeah. Obviously, you're not going to find a replacement for Derrick Henry, but he's a big back. He has okay hands. I think if you start using him as a receiving back and kind of integrate him more into a role like Derrick Henry has, you're not going to find another Derrick Henry.
They already started doing that last year. I mean, last year Derrick Henry had the most receptions he's ever had in his career. I think they're already starting to do that. I think they're going to move away from Derrick Henry, and I think they are going to trade him. I think it's going to be a committee of backs going forward. Um, but man, I'm here. I'm here to hear what your pick is gonna be here for Tennessee.
I think it would be stupid for them to overlook either guy, Quentin Johnson or JSN.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the correct pick would be JSN.
Gonna lock it in.
I don't know if Tennessee.
This is what you would do.
They draft pretty well. Well, I'm also trying to think what should they do. I think that's the more difficult part for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to take JSN.
So you're going to take Jackson Smith pair together with Treylon Burks going forward.
Yes.
I like the pick. Gives Ryan Tannehill a number 2 wide receiver he can trust.
I think you mean Malik Willis.
Yeah. God, Malik Willis was a swing and a miss by absolutely everybody.
Everyone, yeah.
But we are to the Houston Texans now, down here at 12. And I think now is when we stop Devon Witherspoon's fall. We are gonna have possibly the next Jair Alexander on this team. I know he's a little undersized, but just plays so much bigger than he is. Fantastic in press coverage, very physical, great tackler as well.
That's gonna be a hell of a secondary.
Yeah,
you have Jalen Petrie back at safety. You have
Yep.
Oh, I adore him. I'm drawing a complete blank on his name right now. The other corner that they had to shut down for a little while last year.
Oh, the one they just drafted out of LSU last year.
I love him. I'm just drawing a complete blank on his name.
Let me see. I am also drawing a blank on his name. Right now, live on our show, we loved it. Oh, Derek Stingley Jr.
Derek Stingley Jr. Yes. Oh my God.
So it's going to be a very fun cornerback tandem.
Yeah.
Derek, that will be able to match up with different styles of wide receiver as well, because Derek Stingley is a little bit bigger.
Yes.
So he'll hopefully be able to match up with some of the larger wide receivers. But even if he doesn't, Witherspoon's going to be able to hold his own with anyone out there.
I agree. And you always have a great safety to back you up. So.
Oh, man. So.
Pick 13.
Now. So, Aaron Rodgers trade between the Jets and the Packers. So, we are going to just kind of do our version of what the Packers and Jets are going to do. So, we're going to have the Packers and Jets pick swap, pick number 13 and 15. Packers also receive pick number 42 and a conditional pick next year. It's a second-round pick if Aaron Rodgers retires after this year. First-round pick if Aaron Rodgers plays next year.
Yes. So now the Packers
are Jets receive Aaron Rodgers in 15.
Packers are drafting at 13.
Yes.
Man, honestly, I really don't think this would have made that much of a difference for me, because for me, I think that Quentin Johnson and Christian Watson are going to be such a nasty fucking receiver duo. I think that's going to be so foul.
So much just speed on the field at once.
I don't think there's no way that the Jets or the Patriots were going to take either of these guys, but I still think Quentin Johnson's kind of, for what the Packers need, I think it's kind of BPA. They could have gone Brian Branch, but
They could have went a bunch of different positions there. All right. Now I feel kind of wishy-washy about the pick. I'm not that high on Quentin Johnston. I would have honestly probably would have went to one of the defensive linemen at that point as a Packers fan. But that is my personal take on it. So now we're to the Patriots.
Yeah.
And this is where I have one of my first real toss-ups here.
Okay.
Because for me, it's between Brian Branch and Lucas Van Ness.
Yeah.
I think both of them are Patriots guys in general.
Lucas Van Ness screams the Patriot way. Absolutely.
He does. But also, McCourty just retired.
That's true.
Past off season. I think they need a leader in the in the back end. Brian Branch is very versatile and plays so many different spots for him, and that's what Bill Belichick looks for in his secondaries: good tacklers and versatility. I'm going Brian Branch at 14 to the
Damn.
New England Patriots.
Okay. There you go. For the Jets, I mean, you're acquiring Aaron Rodgers. I think you have. What you really want to do is you want to solidify your line. I think probably Paris Johnson Jr. is the correct answer. You could go a couple different ways. It really depends on what you're looking for. I think Broderick Jones is a fantastic prospect, but Paris Johnson Jr. not a bad pick.
Somehow fell all the way down here. I'm shocked you didn't pick him for Tennessee, honestly.
You know,
Because Taylor Lewan being released, that's the part that shocked me. JSN is such a talent.
Yeah.
Man. I'm not shocked you just did.
I
just went for it.
I went for BPA. That's really.
And I don't blame you there. This draft has been really interesting. I think a lot more shocking picks for both of us. That has kind of been the theme. So now I'm with the Commanders here.
Mm-hmm. What are you thinking? What's the thought process here?
I'm thinking I want to add to their secondary at this point.
Figured. Yeah.
Exactly, because their secondary needs a lot of help. Or just do a curveball and just run teams out of the building. I'm going to go Dalton Kincaid out of Utah.
Nice.
A tight end for the Commanders. Give Howell another weapon to throw to. Scary Terry, Jahan Dotson.
That's scary for real.
Kincaid.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love that pick. I think in most of mine, I had Joey Porter Jr. falling right about there, kind of looking right about there.
And Paris Campbell going over there this offseason, too. Like, that offense is going to be spooky.
You know what's surprising me the most about kind of where we're at is we're still looking at Anton Harrison and Broderick Jones on the board. Yeah, so I'm considering somewhere in these next few picks having the Chiefs trade up. Zay Flowers is available. Jordan Addison.
Oh, it's actually really funny you said tackles available. You're right now on the board with the Steelers, and that is a major need for them as tackle.
Yeah, well, that's why I said the next few, because I personally, if I'm the Steelers, I'm probably looking Broderick Jones here. I think that's probably objectively. I think he's the best left tackle in the class and the best tackle available. Yes.
Yeah. Locking it in.
Yeah, I'm going Broderick Jones here. Didn't he allowed like 0 sacks in the national championship game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a solid tackle out of Georgia. Give me a good athlete for him there in Pittsburgh. They need a tackle.
Definitely.
They need to start protecting Big Ben. So
Big Ben, Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett. Sorry. God.
Rolling back the clocks.
Rolling back the clock, man. It doesn't matter. I don't think Kenny Pickett's gonna be that good anyway. He's not gonna be their quarterback that long.
Probably not. But they had to give him a chance. He's a Pittsburgh kid. They had to.
He's a kid from Pitt. Okay, so now we're back to the Detroit Lions.
Yes, we are.
We took Anthony Richardson.
I got a feeling about this pick. I can feel the Kalijah Kancey tingling for you right now.
I'm really thinking about it, but here's my problem with Kancey.
What's up?
I'm worried about his size.
Okay.
I'm legitimately worried about his size and possibly getting blown off the line.
Yeah.
I think 18. I think it's just time to just do something really wild in Detroit.
Okay.
And I think with Anthony Richardson, with how fun this run game is going to be,
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go B. John Robinson.
Wow, that is nuts.
The University of Texas.
Yeah.
I know DeAndre Swift is there. DeAndre Swift's contract's going to be coming up. He's been banged up for a good portion of his career. I need another back there that can do everything.
Yeah.
I think this actually opens up the door to trade Swift, possibly to another team as well. Yeah. B. John Robinson behind that offensive line is going to be amazing. And
disgusting.
I'm excited to see him paired with Anthony Richardson going forward for the next 4 to 5 years.
That would be so gross, dude. That would honestly be such a disgusting pick. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like everyone in the fantasy football community, that would be
lose their mind.
In dynasty rookie drafts,
yeah.
That would be the number 1, number 2 going off the board. That duo would be absolutely lethal. All right.
Now we're sitting at pick 19.
Yep, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So this is another chance for another tackle to come off the board as well. Tampa Bay needs a left tackle.
Yes, they do. Let me think here. This is where we
directions you can go here.
Yeah, this is where we start getting a little.
Because also Kalijah Cansey there.
That's
paired up with Vita Vea
exactly
would be absolutely nasty.
Yeah, I think Tampa really wants to get back that defense that they had.
The Super Bowl. They re-signed everyone too.
I think probably Kalijah Cansey is the way that I would go personally.
Mm-hmm. He's probably the best player available. He's the best player available. At this
point. I was looking between Anton Harrison and Kalijah Cansey, but if Detroit doesn't take him, absolutely, I think that's the right way to go. Yeah.
Yep. Ooh, Kalijah Cansey, Pittsburgh going to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I love that pick for you guys. Now we're back to the Seattle Seahawks.
If, as Kansas City, I'm looking to trade up right now, what would you take for pick 20?
Pick 20 to move down to 31. That's an 11 point. That's an 11 pick swing. Let me see. Let me see what also Kansas City is working with here.
31, 63, 95, 122, 134, 166, 178, 217, 249, 250.
See, I'm a visual learner. And
the way I'm kind of looking at this is
31, 95, and a third round pick next year.
For 20?
Yep.
What if we swap third rounds next year?
No. That's a waste of time. It might as well just be a 4th round pick at that point.
Would you take a 4th?
Essentially just taking a 4th round pick.
Would you take a 4th?
Because KC, there's no way it's going to be a high pick.
1, 3, or 31, 95 in round 4. 4th round?
No. It might as well be a 5th round pick. I mean, think about it. It's Kansas City. It's going to be a low draft pick.
I'll give you the third. I'll give you the third.
I was about to say, there's no way Snyder's going to take too much less than that. So, now you're at the pick at 20.
Yeah, so this is, me personally, you know how I feel.
Yeah.
I love Josh Downs. I think Josh Downs would have been there if I tried to trade up to, like, I don't know. I feel like Josh Downs probably would have been there. I think the way for us to go would be Jordan Addison or Zay Flowers.
So you're trading up for a wide receiver, not even for a tackle. Okay. So you're just saying fuck left tackle at this point. Okay.
I mean,
God, Mahomes it's gonna be like the Super Bowl every day for the Mahomes. Oh, I'm so excited to watch it.
Well, oh man.
See, that's the only other thing. You did give up all that capital.
Yeah.
So this better be for a player that you're gonna also start this year, probably.
I feel like if I'd stayed, probably DeWand would have still been there. But kind of
You're always
regretting not
regretting the
staying.
trade.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here looking, though, and I'm like, the Chargers are going to want a receiver. The Ravens, who knows what the fuck they're going to do. And
So I think Anton Harrison would be the absolute best pick for you
yeah,
guys here. Because he can go play right tackle
I was
for you
looking at that
guys.
too. His pass block grade's
He
really
was-
high.
And there's no way, and he's an ass kicker, man. He's good in the run game as well. I do really think that would be the best pick for you guys here. Just because I
Yeah.
honestly, that's also kind of giving up on the development of Sky Moore at that point as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I know you're right, but it's going to hurt me seeing all of these guys going receiver when we're suffering. So, the Dolphins forfeited their pick, but because I got an extra pick in the beginning, if you want to do the next two, go for it.
So what direction are you going? Who are you drafting?
Oh, I drafted
Wait,
Anton
this-
Harrison. I shot Harrison.
Harrison?
Yeah. I feel like that's what we really should do and what we really need.
Well, if you want to go wide receiver,
No.
you can go wide receiver.
I want to unleash.
Say,
I want to unleash Pacheco, and I would like to see a full season of Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore and see what we really have. Because I know there's some prospects coming up next year. We can always shoot for it if we need it.
So you're actually up with the Chargers right now at 21.
Yeah, I'm going to give that to you. I'm going to let you do 21 and 22 because in the beginning I got those three in a row.
Oh, no, that's A-okay. No, I had the second overall pick.
Okay. All right.
I have the even picks. We can keep it going because we still have the teams that we had before that have 2 picks as well.
That's fair. It's fair enough.
Right. So who are you going to go with the Chargers? There's a lot of directions you can still go here.
Yeah, we're looking at a very offensive league. Joey Porter Jr. is best player available for what they need. They don't need an edge rusher. They don't need Van Ness. But I feel like they really... I was looking at the Chargers depth sheet last night, and I was like, oh my god, they need another receiver.
Yeah, because after
it's basically Josh Palmer, Keenan Allen,
and Mike Williams.
I don't think Mike Williams is still there this year. I think he's gone.
Yeah, you signed an
He is?
extension.
Okay.
Yeah, he's there. He's there.
It is a very offensive league, but also, like, if you're aware that Kansas City's receiving core is getting weaker, if you really want to try to make a move in that division, I feel like you need to get better at corner.
You know what really sucks?
What?
I know you hate having to improve your own division so much.
Well, yes and no. It's honestly, it's just kind of me thinking, like, if I were the GM, what would I do? And I know that the league is so offensive-minded, but because the Chargers are such a weird statistics-run coaching set, I'm really struggling to think offense or defense here. Defense wins championships, but the Chargers can't get to one. So I think they'd go offense. But then it brings Zay Flowers or Jordan Addison.
Yeah. Who would you pick? It's honestly still who
would
you
I
hire
pick?
on.
I would
Yeah,
pick Zay
this
Flowers.
is 100% who we're picking.
But I'm giving them Jordan Addison because I feel like they would go with Jordan Addison instead.
All right. So Jordan Addison to the LA Chargers.
Yeah.
So I am now up with the Ravens.
Yeah.
And I'm going Joey Porter Jr.
Okay.
I'm running that to the table.
Yeah.
If he somehow ends up with the fucking Ravens, they run that pick into the house because he's going to be absolutely amazing.
Definitely. I 100% agree.
Oh, man. So you're back up with the Chargers?
The Vikings. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, with the Minnesota Vikings? Oh, LOL.
I mean, they got rid of Thielen. But they really... There's more than a few things the Vikings need help with.
I know.
Their secondary needs help. Their run defense needs some help. But again, it's an offensive league, and you know what? Maybe this is why they re-signed all those tight ends. So they didn't have to get another receiver in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, essentially Hawkinson's the number 2 in that offense.
Exactly. But man, I feel that the Vikings aren't going to go anywhere this year anyway. I think they should grab Zay Flowers and just kind of say fuck it.
Ooh.
Because the worse of a record that
I love that.
The worse of a record that you have, the higher of a pick you're going to have next year. You're going to get run by the Lions.
I mean, I don't think they're going to be that bad this year, especially if they have Zay. So we're going to go with Zay Flowers to the Minnesota Vikings. I fucking love that pick for them. Zay Flowers to the Vikings with Adam Thielen, 2 great route runners that can also win contest and catch opportunities.
With Justin Jefferson. Adam Thielen's gone.
Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
Oh, I don't...
You're good. You're good.
God,
don't worry about it.
Mixing up all the names today.
It's all good. We're all good.
Okay. So now you're up.
You're up with the Jaguars.
Jaguars are now up at 24. So this is going to be...
I know what you want to do, but...
Oh, I'm... Van a couple of things. I think... Yeah, this is actually not that hard. Deontay Banks from Maryland. Okay. That's where I want to go here. They need a corner on the outside to play defense for them outside. Tyson Campbell was good last year, but they need another good outside corner.
Yes, they do.
And I feel like that's the best thing to do with them. I really wish they wouldn't have went the direction they did with the first round pick last year.
Trayvon Walker, yeah.
I don't think Trayvon Walker is going to work out, but that's just me.
I don't think he's going to be what they want him to be, but I'm not going to say I don't think he works out.
Yeah. Okay. So we are to the New York Giants.
Yeah, I feel like people probably aren't going to like this one. My best fit for the Giants this year would be Josh Downs. I love Josh Downs. I think people criminally underrate him.
The Viking, so Josh Downs to the Giants, they are going to have a healthy slot receiver, goddammit.
Yeah, exactly.
They have 1 million slots.
Hey, but how many are healthy? Ever.
Yeah, exactly. And Josh Downs, he plays bigger than what he's listed at.
I love him.
Is a great contested catch wide receiver. Has like over a 70% contested catch rate on the year last year. Amazing player.
92.1 grade versus man coverage. Yeah.
And with him and Darren Waller in that same offense, I think it's going to be very fun, everything that Dable draws up for him.
Yeah.
So we're going Josh Downs, New York Giants, pick 25.
I know this is a hot take.
Yes.
I have been liking what I've been seeing out of Daniel Jones in his development. This offseason, I've really been seeing him work on his form. Everything that I've seen coming out of the Giants camps and seeing out of whatever he's been doing individually, I think he's going to develop more as a passer this year, and also because of that, I feel like we're going to see more of his dual threat capabilities.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. All right.
My friend, you have pick 26, Dallas
26,
Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to go with the Notre Dame tight end, Michael Mayer.
Ooh, okay.
Well-rounded tight end, fantastic in the run game, also very good in route runner. Some people say that he's not too athletic, but man, good luck just taking him down in the open field.
Yeah, for real, I love that pick.
That big-ass motherfucker.
Yeah, right. I think that's a great pick. I think the Bengals are pissed, but I think that's a great pick.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Buffalo Bills, 27, Brett. You are on the clock. You have so many options here, too. Yeah. This draft is... The Bills are in such an interesting position because there's not too many needs on their team, but there's definitely places where they can get an upgrade, you know?
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm looking as well. I think Brian Breesy would be a good pick. I think their secondary needs some help, but I don't really know if there's anyone worth drafting here. Like Emmanuel Forbes, I don't really think it's worth reaching right now. I don't think he's bad, but I just don't think it's worth the reach from this position. The Bills are okay at stopping the run, and you're getting a healthy Von Miller back next year.
Mm-hmm.
I think Brian Breesy is probably... Lucas Van Ness would be good, but they just don't have a need for it. I'd go Brian Breesy here.
Yeah, all right. I like it. Get yourself a interior defensive lineman that's really good against the pass. He should be able to contribute as a pass rusher. Him and Ed Oliver,
Oh my
both
God,
in
yeah.
on third down situations, is gonna be fun to watch.
Zach Wilson's going to be crying. Aaron Rodgers is going to have another broken collarbone.
Oh boy. All right. So we're at the 28 with the Bengals. And I'm just thinking right now about Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
And Joe Burrow long term. And we just got Orlando Brown signed as our left tackle.
Correct.
Jonah Williams wants to be traded away. And to be completely fair with you, I don't trust Lyle Collins as a right tackle.
I do not either.
I think he's much better as a guard, and that's why I'm going to go with DeJuan Jones out of Ohio State to go play tackle for him. I'm going to move Lyle Collins over to left guard, and it's going to be Orlando Brown and Lyle Collins there on the left side.
That's going to be hard to move.
We're just going to run the ball down people's throats because these are three big, strong, mauling men, and it's going to help that team immensely.
DeWand and Orlando are both 6'8" and like 360, something like that. Yeah. It's that I think that's a very good pick for their future. And I agree with you, especially looking for a run-heavy offense. That would be great. I think we talked about this because I talked about how I wanted DeWand for Kansas City. In passing situations, I think he's fine, but it's just when you have speed on the edges where he is not as movable because he's not as mobile because he's a big guy, then he can get beaten. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like he's more likely to hold than he is to let his quarterback get hit.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the main thing we need is Burrow just not to take hits.
Yeah. So I love the pick. I think that's a great pick. I wish he would have fallen to us in this draft, so I wouldn't have had to trade up, but I just kind of had a feeling that he wasn't going to make it.
So real quick.
Yeah, what's up?
New Orleans Saints. I'm calling you from Indianapolis.
Hello?
We have pick 35 for you.
Okay. What else?
35 and 106. So let's go 35 and 106 for 29. What do you think? I think it's a pretty good trade.
I think it's a pretty good trade considering there's nothing like immediate there that they really... I think it's fine. Yeah.
That the Saints need.
So you said 35 and 105?
106.
106.
Okay. So the Colts are back on the board at 29. I traded up to go get the one of the best, if not the best, pass blocking right tackle in this draft class, Darnell Wright, to put on the Colts offensive line. Sure up that offensive line now. I know they supposedly already have a right tackle, but he honestly was not playing too well last year.
No.
And they just need a good
how much of that's on the quarterback?
I don't care. The Colts offensive line was dog shit last year.
That's true. I agree.
Okay. So now I'm back with the Eagles at pick number 30. As everyone can remember earlier on in the draft, I took Nolan Smith at edge.
Yes.
In the top 10 already. So it does open up a lot of what I can do here still.
Yeah.
Man. And I think, even though he's a little light, I think he can put on some weight in the NFL. I think he's very athletic. I think if he weighed just 30 more pounds, he might have been one of the best corners in this draft. Give me Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi
Oh,
State.
okay.
Hey, they were trying to get rid of Darius Slay.
Yeah.
They had to just resign him. The Eagles' secondary got cooked in the second half of
Yes.
that Super Bowl
Yes, they did.
and was not playing that well. They need to inject some life into it. I already addressed their defensive line. Let's get this secondary put together as well. The offense doesn't have any immediate holes that needs
No,
fixed that I
I
can't
agree.
address in the second round.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good pick.
Oh man. So
Yeah,
you have
your offense looks great. You just brought in well, you got rid of Miles Sanders on offense, but I think
but,
you have
but then we brought in Rashad Penny
yeah.
for a
And I
cheap
think
deal.
behind that offensive line, that's going to be great. That your
And
defense is great. You're just adding more to the depth of your defense.
yeah. I mean, absolutely. I think Forbes could eventually end up starting for him at some point too throughout the year.
Yeah, definitely. Um, I think
And that's definitely a pick for the future going forward
yes,
too. Like
definitely, definitely.
because
Um,
there's no way that I think Slay plays more than one more year in Philly.
mm-mm.
I think
I
he
think he enjoyed his time, but he didn't enjoy losing the Super Bowl.
no. So brother, you had the last pick of the video,
Yeah.
last pick of the first round. We're gonna come back for our second round at some point when
Yes.
there's not a tornado outside.
True. Correct. Yeah. I think this one it's not BPA because if I was just going BPA, I'd say fuck it, Lucas Van Ness. But
You could you this is 100% what you could do with the Seahawks.
I
Whatever you would like to do. This is your choice. This is our choice, Brett. It's our time. We're the GMs.
let's see. Let me check something real quick. Where is this next one? I want to know where the Jaguars. Okay, the Jaguars' next pick is 56. Okay, so my concern was
Mm-hmm.
the only other people that I'd really worry about taking. Well, maybe the Eagles would. What's the Eagles' next pick? Because that kind of determines if I'm going to take Osiris Torrance here or not.
So you're debating between Torrance and Van Ness right
Yeah.
now. Both would be absolutely nasty because especially since in Seattle you already took Jalen Carter,
Yup.
and imagine also the like Van Ness with all of his size with what Seattle
Yeah.
likes to do.
Well, and the only reason I was really considering that I think going Lucas Van Ness here because they have such a high pick in the second is probably the best option. Because I think you can still get Osiris Torrance. There's not a lot of guys that are going to be who has, let's see, the Steelers. The Steelers aren't going to get him. Texans, Cardinals, Saints, Rams, Raiders. Yeah, I think probably here I'm going to go Lucas Van Ness. I think that's a great option. Help shore up that run defense that we've been struggling with. So
And also high effort pass rusher that's just starting now to really like find his way. It's going to be really fun to watch him grow. He's only 21 years old,
Yeah.
6'5", 272 pounds.
that's nuts, bro. For
Fast as fuck, free three-cone time. It's going to be really fun to just watch and see what he can turn into.
it's crazy.
His comp was Justin Smith of the 49ers.
Really? Didn't hear that one, but
Very, very strong. I feel like he can play either on the edge or on the outside tackle of a guard and play pretty well. High end, man, he could be really good. He could be J.J. Watt if he hits his absolute peak.
I'm telling you, that feels like the most Patriots pick I've ever seen in any draft at any point in time. But if he manages to fall that far, my God, Seahawks, yoink, grab that.
I mean, there's no way I was gonna let Brian Branch get past the
No,
Patriots.
that's so fair. Yeah. Well, they definitely need it.
Well, everyone, that was the first round of the books. Come back for the second round. Once again, love every member of the trans community while they're going through this fun time of history.
Yeah.
And everyone be safe in the Midwest. We love you.
Yes,
It's
definitely.
great to be back. And Brett, it's great to be co-host with you back here, man.
So glad to have you back as well. Not that, I mean, very happy that you got the experiences to go on the other shows, but
yeah,
glad to have you back home where we belong.
All right, y'all, hit like and subscribe. Peace.
And let us know what you think of our mock draft.